Most of the time, you're going to see and hear me doing this. And on occasion, something I love even more, you're going to hear and see me doing this. But 2 to 3 times a week, I'm out there doing something completely different. It's been about 8 or 9 months now, and you probably remember this video. I gave you my first impression of an acoustic guitar from Zager Guitars. Now, I had never heard of this company before. They actually reached out to me, actually several times. I kept blowing them off because I'd never heard of them before. Finally, I saw the story and I wrote them back and said, hey, you know, I'm interested in this. Let's see if it's something that I like. But I told you in that video that I would come back later and give you an honest opinion on it, but only after having played this for several live shows. Well, again, it's been about 8 or 9 months, so now I'm going to take you on a journey. You and I, we're going to go play some live shows together with this guitar, and I'll give you some context along the way as well, because I'm going to showcase different settings here. After that, we're going to come back into the studio here, and I'm going to give you the specs of this guitar, give you my thoughts, what I like about it, what I would change about it, and we're going to compare it side by side with a couple of other acoustic guitars that I own. By the way, I'm at a place called Jerry's Dockside here in Gibson, Florida. Beautiful, beautiful place. But you're also going to hear this guitar in this video at some more venues and some different environments. Just a little more context behind this video here, guys. So again, I've been playing this Zager guitar for most of 2024. I still play my other acoustic guitars too. I have a Takamine, as you guys know. I have a Martin. Those are still wonderful guitars, but I've been playing this probably 90% of the time. And I don't know if I mentioned this earlier, we're in the middle of the brutal humidity in Florida. I live in the Tampa Bay area. I'm at a beautiful place called Fiorelli Winery. I love it out here. It's just an awesome place, awesome people. Always meet real cool people. By the way, if you're one of the folks that comes to my gigs locally here, I just want to say I appreciate you. I always love meeting you guys. We're in August, which is a brutal time in this area in Florida. And if you play live shows or even live in this area, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And that was really, that was the test. I wanted to wait until I made a proper video on this guitar to play it, for several months at a time, right? I don't believe you can just play a guitar one time and, oh, here's the review, and that's great. I believe you need to play something or use something for a period of time and in different environments. And of course, that's why I'm sharing the different venues that I play at. The last venue, Jerry's Dockside, I shared in the beginning of the video, that's on the water. So I've got a nice breeze there, even though it was hot that day as well. But this specific location I'm at right now, we're pretty far off the coast, okay? So it's a bit more humid out this way. But I'm giving you different scenarios, different venues. We're also gonna hear what this, how this holds up indoors too. I've got some inside shows. We'll get to that in a few minutes throughout the video here. You shouldn't have to jump for joy. You shouldn't have to shine. Let it all out. Tell me that you want me. You tell me that you need me. You tell me that you love me. And I know that I'm right, 'cause I hear it in the night. I hear the secrets that you keep.
to say goodbye. Won't you please forgive me? I would have never tried to hurt you. I just needed someone to hold me.
All right, guys, we are at another place here, and this is actually a really good test for any guitar here. I'm at SeaWorld in Orlando, Florida, and I'm playing at a special event at their Flamecraft bar, which is inside the park. This is called the Bands, Brews, and Barbecue event. Yeah, I like all three of those. Those are good things. But yeah, it's an all-day event here. I'm basically playing off and on. Like I'll play a 30-minute set, then take a break, then play another 30-minute set. They want to keep people moving throughout the park. Just a little context there. But yeah, great test for an acoustic guitar. I've got the Zager. Now I've played this event before over the past few years. You guys may have seen me put this out there on my socials and YouTube, of course. But yeah, let's hear the Zager at SeaWorld in Orlando.
You are the companion, so I've got to get up and go. It's the cold, cruel summer, leaving me here on my own.
Guys, so I'm at a place called Finn's Dockside in Apollo Beach, and check this out. I had to move all of my gear up. I usually play in this back corner back here, but it started raining really bad, and you can see the screen. We've got the screen up here, so that prevents a little of the rain coming in, but for whatever reason, the rain decided to just slant in. You guys know what I mean? So I had to move everything up. Yes, I'm playing the Zager guitar. The Zager guitar got wet. My Telecaster got wet too, so I was able to dry that off and put that up, you know, amongst trying to move everything up. So here's the thing, guys. I'm not hyping up the Zager guitar. That's not really what I'm doing. I've had this happen with other guitars, acoustic guitars as well, and they were just fine. I mean, obviously water's not good for an acoustic guitar. More so than me playing this specific guitar, I kind of just wanted to share this with you. This is kind of just a side note here when you're playing live solo gigs or live anything, and you want to keep the show going. You can either get really upset about things like, why is this happening? Or you can just figure out a way around it. Now, obviously, if you're playing uncovered outdoors and something like this happens, start pouring, well, you got to pack up and hopefully you've got like a contingency plan or something like that. And I know I'm kind of going on about this, but I like to share things like this, guys. This is kind of, I want to say random, but we are in August in Florida, so it does rain like every day. So this is not really random at all. Again, it's just kind of me sharing some of the journey of playing live music, more so than the guitar. But in any case, yeah, you can see the Zager back there. It's holding up just fine. And I'm taking a short break, so I've got probably another hour and a half to go after this. So yeah, wish me luck, and on to the next show.
Just a step away from the edge of the fall, caught between heaven and hell. Where's the girl I knew a year ago? Been there, I was falling angel.
Now it's time to showcase an inside gig, guys. I'm here at Bootleggers Brewing in Tampa, Florida. You guys have probably seen plenty of videos of me being here before. So let's go inside and let's see what the Zager guitar sounds like in an indoor environment. let's go over the specs of the Zager. Again, this model is the ZAD900CE. And I know I covered this in my first impressions video, but I just want to briefly go over these real quick. And then we'll get to playing my other acoustic guitars. We can kind of hear what those all sound like side by side together. And after that, I'll share some things I really love about the guitar, but also some things that I might change about the guitar. So real quick, and I've got this written down because I don't remember this stuff. This is Sitka Spruce, and it has Indian rosewood. We have a maple binding, and then you've got abalone and pearl inlays. And I will just say, a beautiful finish. I mean, I chose this, I saw this, and I'm like, okay, this is the one I want. Also, you do have the Grover tuners. These are really, really nice tuners, which I've never had any tuning issues, and that probably has a lot to do with, of course, the tuners and just the way the guitar is built, but this guitar stays in tune really well. Now, speaking of tuning, you also have a built-in tuner, and this is the Fishman Aura pickup. You can see this thing has a lot of options. I should probably do a separate video on this, but you've got this image feature which gives you some different sounds. You've got a knob where you can blend the pickup with the image or just leave it all the way to one or the other. You've got a 3-band EQ. You also have a phase. And one tip I'll give you here is that this pickup is very powerful. So what I do to save the battery, because I was noticing when I first started playing this out, my battery was dying like after like 2 or 3 gigs, whereas my other guitars, they last for several shows before I had to change the battery. So I put my volume at about 3/4. That works because this pickup, again, is so powerful, so it's naturally louder than my other guitars. Well, if I shave the volume back, that does 2 things. It saves battery, but more importantly, it also keeps my level on my patch that I use for acoustic, with my effects processor. It keeps that level no matter which guitar I'm using. The guitar case, I want to highlight this real quick and then we'll move on. So it's a hard shell case. It's a very sturdy case, but the highlight of the case is the temperature and humidity gauge. So you always know exactly where you're at with the temperature and humidity. Let's break out the other 2 guitars. That's the Zager. So now I want to play my Martin and my Takamine. And guys, this isn't really, it's not really a comparison because these models are probably nowhere close to each other. Again, this is the Zager. This is their higher end, by the way. I think it might be their highest end. The Zager ZAD900CE 50th anniversary. But I'm going to also break out the Martin here. So this is, I'm trying to be careful. I should have had some stands, but I don't have any stands in here. They're all in my my bag downstairs for my live stuff. In any case, though, this is the Martin, and you guys might remember the video I did on this guitar about a year ago. I've had it for a couple of years now, but this is the Martin GPC 13E. It's a really nice guitar as well, so let me just kind of strum on that a little bit as well. Nice full tone. And again, you guys might remember the video on why I bought this guitar because of that reason. I remember playing this guitar for the first time. I bought this at Replay Guitar Exchange in Tampa. I was comparing it, you know, I was playing a bunch of different guitars that day, you know, other Martins, even higher end Martins and Taylors and Gibsons and such. We did a blind test and had my wife just listen to the top 3 we chose, and this one just, it won the test, hands down. One more guitar I want to play really quickly, and then what I'll do is I'll throw footage of what I just played kind of back to back so you can hear them back to back. But let me also play my Takamine. This is a Takamine G Series, And I actually bought this from a good friend of mine, John Castillo. He's a worship leader at a local church called Bridgeway, and him and I played together for years. And I always told him, like, dude, if you ever get rid of this thing, please let me know. I need to buy it from you. And one day, I didn't think he'd ever get rid of it. One day he did. So I'm like, okay, now it's mine. I've had this now probably for, I want to say like maybe 7 or 8 years, but let's strum on this real quick, and then again I'll throw together a little mashup for you. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. And again, that really wasn't a comparison. It wasn't meant to be a comparison. These are the 3 guitars that I own. They're both really in kind of different categories, if you will. Like the Takamine, I don't want to say it's a low end, but it's certainly not one of their super high end guitars, right? It's probably like middle of the road, I guess. Takamine G series. The Martin that you heard, that's not one of their $5,000 Martins. I think I paid like $1,600 for that back in 2022. But again, guys, that Martin, that particular model sounded better to me than some of the $3,000 to $5,000 guitars I played that day in the shop. Then, of course, we've got the Zager, which is their higher end, okay? The ZAD900CE is one of their higher end guitars. So it wasn't meant to say, well, this one's better than the other, and I will not sit here on camera and tell you, well, the Zager is just better than any other guitar. It's a great guitar. It sounds awesome. It plays awesome. But my Takamine, it plays awesome too. Now I will say I think the Zager and the Martin, and I don't want to give you a bias in case you're still trying to decide which one you like better, but in my opinion, the Zager, of course, and the Martin have a much more full sound than the Takamine does. However, the Takamine, the action is set super low, so it's pretty easy to kind of shred on, right? Whereas we talk about playability, now the Zager guitars, they are advertised as being an easy to play guitar. Now I can attest to that. Again, I've been playing this for live shows, which I do 2 to 3 solo shows per week, sometimes more. And I've been using this guitar as my primary guitar for over 8, almost 9 months now. So it is very easy to play. Now, my Martin guitar, it's slightly more difficult. Not difficult to play. I don't want to say it's difficult to play, but it's not quite as easy as my Zager and as my Takamine. So I'm not going to sit here and tell you, well, the Zager guitar is just so much greater than all my other guitars. That's not really the case. I do personally enjoy playing that more, which is obvious because I have continued to play this guitar as my main guitar. Now, in wrapping things up, I want to share some of the things that my strap keeps hitting the guitar, so I'm going to take this off. What do I love about the Zager guitar? This specific model, the ZAD900CE. I haven't played any of the other models, so I can't speak for those. I'd actually love to play like a middle of the road Zager, not necessarily a beginner's, but something that's just kind of middle of the road, just to just hear how that sounds and see how it plays. The thing I love about this guitar, I do love the sound. I mean, this thing sounds great. You saw the first impressions video. If you didn't, I'll leave a link to that in the description if you want to go back and watch that. That's me unboxing it. Literally, like, it comes in the mail, I unbox it, I press record, and I play it. You know, so that's just it. It also sounds great at my live solo shows. Now, real quick, because I know this question will come up, Jason, what are you using for your sounds when you play your live solo shows? You might have saw my video on the Line 6 Pod Go that I made a few years back. I've been using the Pod Go for like 4 years now. now, and that has been, it's been such a great unit. I know this video is not about the Podgo, but I do have a video on that. It's kind of old, but it gives you a rundown on how I get the sounds and all that. I'll put that in the description as well, guys. A lot of cool stuff for you in the description here. I also love the playability of this guitar. It is pretty easy to play. The neck, it's, you know, it's smooth. It's not ultra heavy either. It's not quite as light as my Martin. Like, this thing is a pretty light guitar, which is great if you're playing live, if you're playing shows all the time, especially like me. I'm playing 3 to 4 hour shows. So it's not quite as light as the Martin, but it is pretty light. It's a lot lighter than my Takamine. My Takamine is a jumbo. That thing's kind of a beast. I also appreciate the tuning stability this thing has. It's never failed me at my shows. And again, you know, 8-9 months now, 2 to 3 shows a week, sometimes more. So yeah, I mean, I love that about this guitar. Now, what would I change about the guitar? So I'll give you one thing here. So even though it is an easy to play guitar, and it is, I tend to play, as you guys know, a lot of solos. Most guitar players, they're playing up in this area up here, or most acoustic players rather, they're playing around this area up here, or here if you're using a capo, whatever. Most acoustic, not all, but most acoustic players are doing that. Me, I play a lot of solos. I use a looper pedal, I'll loop a rhythm, and I'll start soloing away on the acoustic. That is part of my shows, is part of kind of what I'm known for in my area here. So again, thank you to everyone who comes to my acoustic shows. I know people, they come to my shows, are like, hey man, I thought you were like, you're a metal guitar player, but you're doing this. And it's pretty cool. Some like it, hopefully. But anyway, I do play a lot of leads. So when I first got the guitar, the string height's fine now, but when I first got it, I actually took it to my local shop here, Replay Guitar Exchange, to have them set it up. It's fine right now. I could actually stand to have it just a little lower. It's low here, and it comes like that, but as you get into this region, it's a little bit higher. So if you were going to order this guitar from Zager, and I'll say this, guys, I do have an affiliate link. So I do get a small commission if you decide to purchase this guitar or any Zager guitar through my link. So I appreciate that. I do have a link for that in the description here. That'd be the first link you see. But I would ask them to, if you play leads a lot and if you want the action lower down here, just make that known to them. What I was told by Denny and his team, which he has a phenomenal team, guys. I've chatted back and forth with them. I've been chatting with them quite often here over the past several months, and they are cool. They're so helpful. They will go out of their way to help you. That's the type of people they are. They set these up at a medium height because a lot of acoustic players, and I've found this to be true, they are a bit more heavy-handed. On top of me playing a lot of guitar solos, I also have a very light touch when I play. That's just how it is. So yeah, if you want the action lowered or as low as you can possibly get it, then I would definitely request that. So that's just a little, I would say I wish it came lower, but some people might not like that. So is that a bad thing? Not necessarily. The other thing I will address, because I know this will come up, and most people that will make this comment that I'm about to address probably don't get this far into the video, and that's okay, but I am uncertain where exactly the guitar is made. I know that Zager guitars, they have a presence in Lincoln, Nebraska. They also, I believe they have a presence as of recent in Las Vegas. But I have just watching some other review videos and just kind of Googling and seeing what other people have had to say. I do know that, or I do believe at least, that the wood from the guitars, they're globally sourced. So I'm uncertain about that, and I guess that's one thing I wish there were, and folks at Zager, forgive me if I didn't see this, I wish there were more transparency about, exactly where the guitars are made. I do believe that Denny and his team oversee the guitars, so if they're made somewhere else, I do believe they are inspected wherever their shop is, right? So I think that's the case. I wish they had something on the website that went through all that in detail, because a lot of people want to know. Now, on that note, we might say that's a bad thing. I don't care where the guitar is made. I don't care. I don't even care about the specs. The specs I read off to you earlier. Where's that piece of paper at? It's right here. I had to rattle that stuff down, guys, because I don't remember this stuff. There are two things I care about in acoustic guitar. Really, any guitar, right? First of all, does it play good? Now, sometimes that might be just as simple as a setup issue, but I want to know that it plays well, that it's easy to play. The guitar could sound good, and it could be made in the good old USA, and it could have all the premium parts or whatever, but if it doesn't play well, guess what? I don't want to play it. I'm not going to buy it. Number two is, of course, it must sound good. And those coincide. It has to play well, it has to sound great. If any of those two are not the case, it doesn't matter where the guitar is made, it doesn't matter whose stamp is on it or where the parts came from or any of that. I just don't care, guys. My Martin here, this was made, and this is the Road Series, by the way. You can see in the hole here, that was made in Mexico. It's a quality guitar made in Mexico, right? My Takamine, let's check that out. I already forgot where this is made. I think it's Korea. Is that right? Yeah. So this guitar, the Takamine G Series, this was made in Korea. A phenomenal guitar made in Korea. You guys know I have an Ibanez RG1570. Guess where that was made? That was made in Japan. Now we do know Japan makes some premium guitars because my ESP, my 7-string ESP E2 Horizon FR7, that was also made in Japan. I've got this other guitar hanging on the wall from an independent guitar maker, Schroeder Guitars. Well, that was made in Germany. My whole point is just because something might be made in the USA or fill in the blank with your country that you think makes the best product, it doesn't automatically mean that it's going to be great, or at least great for you. Now, one more quick thing. So they do not sell these guitars through places like Sweetwater or your local guitar store unless you happen to find like a pre-owned one or something like that. But new Zager guitars, I believe all those are sold through their website. Again, I have a link that goes there. That'll be the first link you see in the description of this video here. I want to give a quick thank you again to the folks at Zager Guitars. You guys have been wonderful to work with, just awesome people. Thank you folks for watching this video, for coming along with me here on the live show journey that we went on earlier. Now, if you're interested in playing live solo gigs, I've got a complete tutorial on how to get started playing live solo gigs right here. So go check that out. Guys, again, thank you for watching. Thank you for all the support. I usually say keep it metal, but today I'm just going to say keep playing music. You might hear this guitar on some metal coming up though, so stay tuned for that as well.